Good evening, Instagrammers, and it's time for some chitter chatter. I'm sure you all have seen the story, and you know today's chit chat is all about cricket, cricket, cricket. Today on our chit chat session, we have the legend Shishir Hatangadi sir. अब इनके बारे में मैं क्या बोलूँ? I can go on, and we can have like a couple of sessions talking about him. But we'll try and have one session where we just go through his entire journey. He is right now the CEO of the Baroda Cricket, and since it's the IPL fever, let me also tell you all that he had set up the Mumbai Indians team and the Deccan Chargers team. So let's send him a request and ask him to get on our chitter chatter. Waiting for him to join in. Hello everyone, thank you for joining our chitter chatter. Hi to everyone. Abhishek, happy birthday. Hello. So all you
Shweta,
Instagrammers, it's his debut on Insta Live Chat. So thank you for having this debut with us on this chitter chatter session.
pleasure's mine, Shweta. Lovely to be here.
So I know in one session तो we can't talk about your journey क्योंकि आपने इतना कुछ किया है पर हम शुरू से शुरुआत करते हैं. So tell
It's
us
a
how.
reflection of my age. It's a reflection of my age, is it?
No, nothing like that. But हम शुरू से शुरुआत करते हैं because if we go back from your beginning days of cricket, you have played Captain Bombay at all levels, junior cricket, university cricket, under 22 cricket, and in the Ranji Trophy too. So tell us something about that journey.
Well, it was a journey that happened by default, Shweta. Sometimes destiny just takes you to places that you don't know that you're going there. And like, there is somebody I'm talking to who's a well-known theater actress. She might just land up in Bollywood a week later, and that's destiny's way of saying, this is where you belong. So, in my case, it was probably just in childhood where I took a fascination for watching cricket, for watching players play, and when I grew up watching cricket in a city called Calcutta, which is now Kolkata. So, of course, moving to Bombay, it helped that I was not a good student because then I had no option. Uh, it was something that, it drew you because you wanted to play it. And also that the fact that I wasn't a great student helped because then I could focus on just one thing. I must confess, I wasn't a very good cricketer in school. Uh, I was average in the sense, but, I had a great passion for it. And I think my coach, I remember I went for a selection for the school nets, and me and my classmate Boman Irani, he got picked. And you know why he got picked? Because he was a very good impersonator of cricketers. So the coach thought, and he's still a great impersonator. He's a very observant person. So he absorbs people very well, observes and absorbs people very well. And the coach thought he's very good because he was very good at copying cricketers. Whereas I couldn't copy anybody. So I was thrown out and Burman was taken in. But as the summer vacation happened and I kept turning up for practice and sitting in one corner watching everybody play, and the coach, I think, felt that, chalo, let's give him some marks on passion and enthusiasm. So he said, join me. And then from there on, once I got that opportunity, I said, this is what I want to do. And I kept learning, kept improving. I don't know about improving, but I just kept learning. And the process of learning just, it just escalated with every day. And suddenly I realized when I was in college in the first year that I had this passion of batting on and batting on and batting on. And of course, I had great help from my teammate Ravi Shastri in college and the Indian coach today. So we grew up together. We dreamt together about, playing cricket. And that helped because the company of people that you keep actually ignites your passion. And from there on, it was just about wanting to play the game. I don't think any cricketer who plays at a young age looks for results. He doesn't look for what is in it for me. It's just that I want to give the game unconditionally, and eventually the game will give you back, and it just happened that way. And then I went on to play the junior cricket, school under 19 cricket, under 22 cricket, university cricket, Ranji Trophy cricket, and just everything that. So I mean, as much as people would say that I mean, you're wrongly using the word legend. I don't think I'm a legend, but yes, I'm a foot soldier. I'm a foot
Foot
soldier of the
soldier,
game,
yes.
and I still am a foot soldier. I keep learning every day about this great game, and it's just something that I'm living about. Living a dream which I see youngsters today. Talk to them about the mistakes I made, the insecurities I had, which may have let me down in certain ways, and I just don't want them to make the same mistakes I did. And some of them absorb it, some of them may not understand it, but I feel that there is a place to contribute even if you finished playing, and you can always tell young guys, young kids, the mistakes you made in life. And that could help. If it can help, great. If it can't, great even then. Now I'm tired talking. You can ask me the next question.
No, you can't get tired talking because today it's all about you talking and me questioning because, like you said, you're the foot soldier
Sure.
and you're learning. And I don't agree with you where you said I'm not a legend. Yes, you are a legend because there's so much to learn from
Very
you.
kind.
So I am going to keep questioning and you're going to keep talking. You don't have a choice here.
Go on, go
But
on.
like you said that you've been talking and there's also a part of you which is about the motivation talking that you're doing and the subject that you keep talking about is the learnings of a failed cricketer majorly and the motivation talks that you're giving the young cricketers. So how did you think of starting that journey where you wanted to motivate all the young cricketers and that was the subject that you chose?
So I'll just give you my background. I was, cricket was a very Marathi-centric game when I was growing up. It was actually very popular in the Marathi pockets of which was the epicenter of cricket in those days. So the Shivaji Park and Dadar, and of course, I grew up in Warden Road. So I had neighbors who were very passionate about cricket. Guys like Sunil Shetty, they were very good and very passionate. But we actually didn't know the journey. We just wanted to play, and the best you could do was play in the building, in the by-lanes of South Bombay, building matches on weekends, and that you just look forward to that. So it was something that you did because that was something that kept you awake at night. That tomorrow I have a match, whether it is then building A versus building B, that was fine. So getting accepted in an environment where you were an alien sort of, took time. But I think people embraced you because you showed the will. I mean, South Bombay is just a terminology. I mean, just because you live in South Bombay doesn't mean you don't struggle. You struggle as much. You have your same disappointments, same insecurities, same challenges wherever you live in Mumbai. So in those days it was Bombay, of course. But slowly I realized that to understand players, to be able to understand how their minds work, I needed to understand how to speak Marathi. And coming from
Okay.
Calcutta, living in South Bombay, going to a school like St. Mary's, which had a teacher called Mr. Machado, my Marathi wasn't going to be the best Marathi in Mumbai. So I learned Marathi by observing my colleagues, my cricket friends in college. And it came very easy after that because I got into their ecosystem quite easily. I mean, you had to keep doing well, but you have to first get comfortable in the zone that you are, and that comfort zone comes from acceptability between people. And once that happened, I think playing the game was much more fun. I made a lot of good friends, shared a lot of laughs. We still meet all our old cricketers, well, old into inverted commas. We meet and we have a great. We don't talk about runs and victories and all the performances. We just talk about the good times, and I think that has been the most satisfying part. That you still meet people. You talk about the fun times that you had, the good times in the dressing room after a win or the disappointments after a loss. But cricket has its own way of bonding people, of keeping people together. It's a sport, it's a team sport. And I think we must realize, even with the IPL and the big money that comes, the very fabric of the game is to embrace each other despite their different backgrounds, different upbringing. You learn to be adaptable with everyone. And that for me is the
True.
biggest learning from the game.
And since we are talking about IPL, you helped set up the Mumbai Indians and the Deccan Chargers. So tell us your journey with the IPL, these two teams.
Well, it's a different demon, this IPL. One is you have to be able to, put a price on somebody, which is very difficult because it's a 20-over game. So how do you put a price? It's like walking into a supermarket with 20 rupees and say, okay, I'll buy this for 2 rupees. I'll buy that for 1 rupee. I'll buy that for 4 rupees. Of course, I'm just simplifying the numbers because it goes
True.
into a few crores, but you decide what you need. And then you suddenly are at, you're left with 10 rupees in your wallet, and you come to the last counter, which is, say, the health and beauty care. And you say, I have to buy because I have 10 rupees. And you go to buy something, and somebody says, no, it's not 10. It's much more than that. And sometimes that is where you find some players getting overpriced in their purchase. It is not a reflection of how good or how bad they are. It's a reflection of the demand and the supply. And we must get this clear that, people talk about, oh, he's not worth so much. He's not worth so much. There's no logic to it. The only logic that comes with all this is that you have a purse and you have to spend that purse. And in that, if tomorrow I decide I need a player and I pay extra for him, it's because I have the money and there is a supply shortage. So it's no reflection on the poor chap who is bought for so much because he may not give you value for money. But
True.
what IPL has done is it's given a lot of people, young kids, a life for the future. It's given them security, it's given them money. I just hope, and I keep telling youngsters, don't play cricket only for IPL. Play it because you love playing cricket. Because if you look at IPL, yes, make money your motivation. I tell them, money is a great motivation. If you can play well, you'll get this is what you'll get out of it. You'll get money. You'll get हमारे जमाने में हम जब भी छोटे थे तो किसी के घर पे गए और कहते थे कि किसी ने पूछा बुजुर्ग ने व्हाट डू यू डू बेटा ऐसे आई प्ले क्रिकेट हाँ वो ठीक है बट करते क्या हो ऐसे नहीं सर आई एम अ क्रिकेटर आजकल ऐसे किसी को बोला कि आई एम प्लेइंग आईपीएल तो इसे बेटा तेरा कुंडली लिया मेरी घर में बेटी है शायद कुछ कुंडली का मिलाप हो जाए because it's given money is given the point is money is given a lot of respectability to the game to players पहले बोलते थे you want to become a chartered accountant an engineer a filmmaker an actor the end was there was prosperity.
True.
In our time there was no prosperity out of the game so cricket was just a byproduct of what you wanted to do. It wasn't the only thing. Today if you say you're an IPL cricketer, I mean, you're talking 10 crores, 15 crores a year salary in 40 days. And that's a lot of money.
Totally. And now that we are talking about आपके ज़माने में और हमारे ज़माने में, so cricket has changed. We've seen the prosperity change. And also this time IPL is seeing a pandemic and the whole game has changed. There aren't many people sitting there in the ground and there's so much change. So what do you have to say about these changes?
When you act in theater and it's televised, the content of that theater and the performance will be the same. Only thing is, how do the artists, and I compare cricketers to artists, pump themselves up, get the adrenaline flowing when there are no crowds in front of you. I mean, you acted in theater, you act in theater. When you see a standing ovation from the live audience, it gives you a different high.
Totally.
You feel a sense it gives you a sense of accomplishment, a recognition. Now the question is, we sit here and watch IPL and there are these sounds, the special effects that go on. My only worry is how do the players motivate themselves? Because, artists like players, cricketers like artists need that ground involvement from the spectator to pump them up. Now that's a new normal today. It's difficult, but we sitting here watching TV, we hear hoo ha, but that's not what they hear. So maybe it's an adjustment of the new times to come. It's also an adjustment of understanding. It's now a television sport. It's no longer on spectator or people coming in through the turnstiles to watch cricket. It's about sitting in front on your couch and watching the game. So for the spectator, the enjoyment may be the same. I'm not sure about the players. They'll take some time to get used to it. I mean, I want to see when you act in your theater and your plays, the empty crowds, nobody in the theater. How are you going to pump yourself? How are you going to motivate yourself? It's a challenge for you, and maybe that's the new challenge, you know. And we all have to accept that this is a change that we have to adapt to.
That's like you said, it's a new norm, and we all need to adapt to that and find a way through it. It's just just like you said, we all have to like find the rush while we are playing or while we are performing. Because, like since we're talking about theater, it's not just the last where the standing ovation would happen. Every time there was a whistle or a clap, it just motivated us to perform further better in the same act. So, yeah, I totally relate to what you're saying. It is the new norm which we all need to adapt to.
Well said. That's my girl.
Thank you. So let us talk about the leadership talks that you're giving nowadays. You've been motivating so many youngsters out there, and the ones who want to take cricket, who just don't take cricket as passion, but want to take it as career. So, what are all these talks about, and how do you motivate them? What made you start these talks after your retirement?
To say that I motivate them would be, going over the top. Actually, what I do is I love talking to young cricketers or even managers, in corporate India to synergize. For corporate India is to synergize leadership qualities that a young aspiring manager might find has a connect with the challenges of a cricket captain. And what are the challenges he faces vis-a-vis. I mean, he has to answer to the board of directors. A cricketer has to answer to the selectors. A captain has to answer to selectors. Also, the challenges of how one can transform leadership amongst the team. How does one bring the best out of. First is of course to understand that every player will have his maximum performance. Now that maximum performance may not be 100 on 100. So a good leader doesn't have to be the best player, but should have the ability to find out what a young player at his best on his best given day can go up to. And there are some players who like to practice hard. Some players just go out on the ground like naturals. And you've seen enough naturals in your profession, who don't need so much practice or so many rehearsals. They can just give them a moment and they'll go there and perform. So it's also about analyzing what works best for each individual, how you can get the best out of him. And of course, the insecurities, the challenges, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats that come with every member of your team. And it's important to know them personally because that helps in you judging how we can get the best. Ultimately, it's all about what you can get out of a person, and if he can contribute in his best way, you're doing a job. So for me, that is the corporate part of it. But there is a leadership that comes with young cricketers where I try and tell them about the insecurities. We didn't have too many mentors or people telling us when you failed that, boss, this is only a part of the journey. The destination, if you follow this same journey, the destination will give you the dividends or the satisfaction that you want. I'm not talking money or performance. It's the satisfaction. Sometimes you can just be one dialogue and do it well, and you come out thinking I've done my job. Similarly, you don't have to score 100 every time. You can just go out and score a match-winning 20, and you come out saying, boss, I won my team a game. That's what I wanted to do. So you can become a hero even in a smaller contribution. And I try and tell kids that, just follow a good process of practicing, of keeping a process of your journey intact. Don't go haywire there, because ultimately your destination, and we went through that. We went through that where you worked very hard and the important day you failed. And sometimes you felt, अरे यार, वो तो practice भी नहीं किया और इतना नाम कमा गया. So, and it sort of bothered you. It deflated your confidence. So, my job is to tell, or I try and tell youngsters that, look, it doesn't matter if you fail. You have to fall. but important is for you to rise again, walk again after you've fallen, and that is where your success is. So it's normal gyan, but sometimes we just overlook the normal gyan because we're so engrossed in our own ambition, our passion, our ability to achieve, that we keep the simple things out. And that is where I think I can contribute by telling kids keep it simple. Don't listen to mummy daddy all the time, because they will want you to do well, because they want you to succeed. But every time you fail, they are going to feel upset. So keep them away from your passion, because they want you to do well, and you should tell them that I know you want me to do well, but don't worry about their emotions. Worry about your processes.
Wow. Like you said, these contributions, you've also been awarded for your service for cricket by the Shiv. You've got the award of the Shiv Chhatrapati Award, in 1989 for your services in cricket. And you're still continuing to give your services by these beautiful talks, motivating youngsters, not only the ones who play cricket, but everybody with your motivational talks. So when you got the award is always special for everyone. What was the feeling?
When I
What
got
was
the
the
award,
rush?
when I got the award, I was in England playing cricket. So my father went to collect it. But I felt very good about it, because it was a recognition which the Maharashtra government gave you. And I didn't feel something special. It just felt good that, it was recognized. I'm not a Maharashtrian. I'm born in Bengal. So, to get recognized by Mumbai and Maharashtra was special. But I've always felt that Mumbai has given me much more than I deserve. Mumbai has given me a name. I mean, I wouldn't have had Shweta Arora talking to me if it wasn't for Mumbai. Uh,
Now you're
huh?
being too kind.
Yeah, no, I'm not being kind. You've done good research on me. You didn't even pronounce Shiv Chhatrapati very fluently. You said Shiv. And living in Mumbai, you have to say Shiv Chhatrapati. You live in Mumbai. Shiv Chhatrapati, not Shiv. Yeah. So
अरे
it's a
इतना
tongue twister.
होता है it's a tongue
होता
twister
है यार.
that's how
आप
no
आर्टिस्ट
you're
हो.
sitting with a legend performing doing your live chitter
एक
chatter
लाइन
your debut
चिट्टा चाटा बराबर बोलती है आप. शिव छत्रपति.
Shiv Chhatrapati
Yeah. Oh, very good. Chalo. I will
पता
tell
कभी
Mr. Thackeray. I will tell Mr. Thackeray that you are doing very well.
listen it's like a tongue twister and sometimes these things happen
Yeah, of course they do. I mean, especially, when, see, for artists, it's always easy to camouflage a tongue twister. But a cricketer, no, he gets exposed.
and you just exposed me it would have just gone off
Tell me.
but you just made the moment see this is what happened is, I'll tell you, since you've exposed this tongue twister of mine, so I had
Hmm.
your name and the Chhatrapati and Shivaji, all of it going on in my mind at the same time. And then that's how it
So
happened.
you almost said Shiv Chhatrapati. I know that.
Exactly.
Yeah, correct.
Correct now. See, I gave you a chance to
होता है.
laugh. चिटर चैटर में
Yeah,
थोड़ी हंसी
absolutely.
भी तो जरूरी है ना
हाँ, of
इतना
course.
सीरियस गायन चल रहा था
Just laugh through life.
So yeah, back to our chitter chatter.
Absolutely.
What is your mantra of life?
My mantra is not to have a mantra.
Arey
My
wow.
mantra is not to have a mantra. Because
Highlighting
all
this
these
note.
all these mantras are, they keep changing for everybody. So don't have a mantra, just go with the flow. It's like when you go out to play, when you go out to bat, if you start thinking about 100 when you're 0, you're never going to get there. Think about the 100 when you're 99. Because then you're one run away from the 100. So don't keep too many mantras in mind, because if you don't achieve those mantras, or you don't fulfill what you have to do, then you're the only one who's going to be disappointed. and people will see that disappointed. Try and swallow your disappointments. Try and spread positivities, laugh, play the game well, try your best, and don't expect. There's a very good line which I read from a great writer, a very good writer called Sambit Bal. He was writing about Sachin Tendulkar, and he says, what impressed me about Sachin was he was like a Sufi saint who had surrendered to his craft unconditionally. How can cricket not love him back? And it actually embodies Tendulkar, because we saw him as a young kid coming into the Bombay team at the age of 15. And I asked him one day, because we saw his obvious talent, and something special that was going to come India's way, the world's way actually. And I asked him one day, what do you want in life? Because eventually, वो एक रूम में क्या एसी चल रही थी एंड उसको डिस्टर्ब हो रहा था, वो बोलता था बहुत ठंडी लग रही है. तो मैंने बोला यार तेरी जिंदगी अभी एसी होने वाली है, तो ये क्या चाहिए क्या लाइफ में? बिकॉज आई कुड सी दैट ही विल गेट एवरीथिंग, बिकॉज he was such an immense talent. And he said, I just want God to keep me fit and allow me to play. So I said, kahan? He said, wherever. I don't mind playing in my gully, in my building, but I just want to be fit. And actually that time I said to myself, here is a guy who I've never seen as talented in terms of raw talent, but it is doubled with the passion, doubled with his love for his craft. And I think God will give him what he wants. And now I didn't expect God to give him so much. He got, but he deserves every bit of what he got. In fact, because if I had to just put marks on his passion, on his commitment, on his love for the craft, it all adds up to what he got. It all adds up. It's not a surprise. And anyone who's played with him in his early days will not be surprised with what he got. In fact, we were sure he would get a lot, but what he got is not come as a surprise, or it's not shocked us that, boss, what has he done? Because this was something that was going to happen, because it was only the injury bit and the destiny bit that we were worried about. कभी कभी होता है कि जो मिल गया उसी को मुकद्दर समझ लिया, जो खो गया वो मैं उसको बुलाता चला गया. वो नहीं होना चाहिए, because it would have been a tragedy to this game if he hadn't got, because we would have been, as fans of the game, we would have been deprived of something special.
Wow. And ये जो आपने दो lines बोली, it is so true. And like you said, that you all knew. मैं बहुत फिल्मी हूँ वैसे. वो तो मुझे पता है, वो तो मुझे पता है. और उसी फिल्मी नोट पे मैं कहूँगी कि जैसे आपने कहा था, you all knew that he would get, but इतना मिलेगा नहीं पता था. तो कहते हैं ना, ऊपर वाला जब देता है छप्पड़ फाड़ के.
हाँ, so I mean, to be fair, I mean, I grew up in a generation where I saw Gavaskar, I saw Tendulkar, and I keep telling both of them, I have had the privilege and the honor of playing with both of y'all. Something y'all don't have the privilege of doing with each other. So they say it talks about your age, nothing else.
Wow. Now we are going to play a quick game before we end our chitter chatter. I'm going to take some terms, and the first thing that comes to your mind, it doesn't have to be connected to those terms, but the first thing that comes to your mind is what you have to say. Cow corner.
Mid wicket.
To carry the bat.
Stay not out.
Without loss.
Opening batsman.
How's that?
Not out.
Bottom hand?
Repeat that.
Bottom hand?
Bottom hand. Square cut.
Off to?
Off the toes. Off the toes.
Off to?
Square leg. Off to.
Sport
off the
parlance.
toes. Or what?
Off to?
Off to where? Lord's cricket ground.
Sport parlance.
Live, love, play hard, and enjoy it.
To occupy the crease.
For me, it was bore the crowds, but today it's not about that.
Hit someone for six.
Delusional for me, but I did it of once in a while.
Catch someone out.
Short leg. That's where I stood.
It's not cricket.
Play fair.
Have a good innings.
Your innings will start after your cricket is over.
Wow! So on this note, I would like to thank you for our chitter chatter and I hope you enjoyed the chitter chatter.
I hope you did. But next time, Shiv Chhatrapati.
This time only, Shiv Chhatrapati.
Very good. Nice talking to you, Shweta. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.